Welcome to the second station in our Experience Easter. For this you'll just need a small bowl with a little bit of water in it. We're thinking about servant king. Two words that sound like they're kind of quite different really. A servant, think about people who are servants. They're often the kind of lowest in a household. It might be working for somebody important, but they're very much the kind of lowest in the household. And the king is the most grand, the top of the household or the top of the whole kingdom. So to be a servant king sounds quite opposite really, but we'll hear about how Jesus is a servant king. Jesus lived in a land which was very dry and dusty, and people usually went about the place walking most of the time. They didn't have motor cars and things, and people's feet became very sort of horrible and mucky quite quickly because of that. And so it was common practice, if you had guests in your house, to wash their feet. Usually it would be a servant who would do that. It was quite a sort of smelly and menial task. So we're going to hear about the great surprise that the disciples had when they arrived for a special meal with Jesus in Jerusalem. Jesus took off his outer garment and wrapped a towel around his waist. And then after that, he poured water into the basin and washed his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel. He put back on his outer clothes and returned to his place. His disciples were looking quite puzzled, and he said to them, "You don't understand what I've been doing. You call me teacher and Lord, and that's right, because that's what I am. But now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I've set you an example that you should do as I have done for you." What do you think Jesus meant when he said, "I've set you an example"? Do you think the words servant king give us a clue to that? And how can we, the followers of Jesus, care for one another nowadays? Maybe not literally washing each other's feet, because we don't walk around barefoot in dusty roads nowadays. But how can people who are followers of Jesus care for one another nowadays? You might want to pause the video and just have a little bit of a think about that, and maybe talk to someone about it. I'm now going to read you a little poem written by Saint Teresa of Avila hundreds of years ago. Christ has no body now on earth but yours. Yours are the only hands with which he can do his work. Yours are the only feet with which he can go about in the world. Yours are the only eyes through which his compassion can shine forth upon a troubled world. Christ has no body now on earth but yours. And as we think about that, Perhaps you would like to take the bowl of water, the little bowl of water you have, and thinking about how God uses you to serve others, and maybe praying to him, asking him to use you in a very special way to serve others this Easter time. Just dip a finger into the water and make a sign of the cross on the palm of your hand.